I'm 19 and I'm scared. Like a lot of other people I know, I've got a lot of ambition, a lot of goals, a lot of things I want to do in life, and yet I've always got this constant fear in me that I don't know if I'm doing the right thing to get towards them. I'd say for my age, I've done quite well for where I'm at, and yet it still feels a long way away from where I want to be. For example, I'm 19, right? And I dropped out a year and a half ago. I'm living here in Bangkok, Thailand, and I make enough to sustain myself out here. So that's pretty good. Like, you can't really ask for much more at the age I'm at. And yet there's so much more I want to do that there's always this kind of pressure, which I'm sure a lot of people feel, that you're not doing enough to get where you need to be. You know, even the other day I saw a video from Alex Hormozi talking about, oh yeah, I sat down and just worked 8 hours. And I was like, okay, let's do the next thing. What's the next thing we can work on for another 8 hours? I'm like, damn, people are really out here just sitting down and just doing hours on hours every single day. And I honestly don't think I have the capacity for that. I would like to say that I feel like most people probably don't, which is probably true, but that still brings somewhat of a pressure, thinking, oh damn, maybe I'm not doing enough for where I want to get to. But one thing that I've learned is that everyone has their own path, everyone has their own journey. You know, for example, there's content creators out there who only popped off when they're like 35 or something. That's 15 years away for me. And you know, 15 years, it's a long time, but 35 is still young. And I think at any age that you're at, maybe after the age of like 18, let's say, there's probably this kind of pressure to feel like you should know what you're doing, to know when and where and what you're going to do and how you're going to get there. And I always have to remind myself that, yeah, it's okay to not know where I'm going to go. But even still, for the past year and a half, I dropped out, left home, moved out, have been traveling and doing all these kind of cool, great things. But the whole time I've been feeling somewhat lost. Essentially, just so you know who I am, my kind of rough background, just so you have an idea where this comes from. I started a YouTube channel when I was 16, worked on that for 2 years, didn't really get anywhere with it. Then got into video editing, did that for a good few months and started making enough money. I went to uni, was making enough money, so I dropped out. And then from that point, I've just been traveling ever since, living off my editing money. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last year and a half. Before I went to uni, I was just at home, I was in school, and I was actually doing a lot of work because I had the structure, I had the freedom in the routine, in the sense that, you know, I had to go to school or whatever, but outside of that, I could just do whatever I wanted. There was no pressure. And I really thrived under that. I mean, thrived in my sense, where I was going to bed at 7 p.m. and waking up at 4 a.m. That was actually prime, working on my YouTube, and I was doing all these kind of things, and it felt great. But ever since leaving that kind of environment, I feel like I haven't been the same, which is normal because I'm learning to live life. And what's funny is that the very first time I left the house, besides uni, I went to Bali. And literally the day I got there, it was the evening after a long flight. I was sitting in my room, or maybe it was the day after, and I just started kind of freaking out a bit mentally. I sat down and journaled for a while, and I was getting like an existential crisis of, you know, what's my life going to be? Okay, I'm here now, but what the hell? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? There's no path for me. There's nothing for me to do. It's just life now. Because, you know, when you're in school, you've always got, you've got the next year, or you've got uni to go to. Oh, okay, you've got a internship, and then you've got a job, and it's like, okay, there's this, that. But then me, I left school, and I was like, oh, there's nothing. And so I was sitting in the room, and I actually ended up crying and calling my sister, talking about this. And I realized it was mainly from being overwhelmed of being there, but all these questions were kind of real questions. And yeah, after I kind of made it out of the typical path when I dropped out, and now I've been living on my own terms outside, just doing my own thing, I've always felt this kind of lost feeling. But because I don't have anything laid out for me anymore, there's an extra task of me finding out how to do things by myself. But since then I realized, and I guess this maybe is somewhat of a lesson, is that you just kind of have to take things step by step. What I'm trying to do is have a broad picture of where I want to get to and what I want to do, but then not focus on that too much and just focus on the day-to-day, step-by-step things which I can do. And what I realized, and what I'm hoping, is that as long as you're doing work, as long as you're doing things that you want to do, then I think you'll eventually get to where you want to be. And that's what I'm hoping, because I don't know yet. But then that's basically the whole dilemma, is that I'm hoping that, but it still comes with the uncertainty and the feeling of being scared that what I'm doing is the right thing to get to where I want to be. So if you're watching this, maybe you're same as me, you're older, younger, whatever it is, and you're not sure where life is going to take you, how you're going to get to where you want to go, I think me and you, all we can do is just take little steps forward in what we believe to be the right direction. And I guess we're going to find out, but I believe and I'm hoping that that will take you to where you want to be. Have a general overview and direction of where you want to get to, and just try and take some steps towards that direction. And hopefully it might not be the path and even destination that you thought you would have ended up in, but I think where you get to will actually be the place that you were supposed to get to anyways. For example, I started posting YouTube videos when I was 16, and I thought at the time, yeah, I'm gonna do these videos, it's gonna build up, and I'll get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 subscribers, and then that'll be what I'll do. And I had this conviction in myself that, yeah, that is what's gonna happen. And I did it for 2 years, which is a pretty long time, and I got maybe 1,000 subscribers from it. But because of that, I got into video editing, and because of video editing, I was able to drop out, make enough money online, and travel to where I want to be and be where I am now. So that's what I'm going to keep on doing. I'm just going to keep doing what feels right to me at the time, make sure I'm working hard on it, and even if it ends up not being the right thing for me, I have a hopeful conviction that that will take me where I need to get to regardless. So that's what I'm going to keep doing, and this video is to remind myself and hopefully to remind you to just keep taking small steps. Don't worry too much, and as long as you're just doing, then hopefully you will make it together. So yeah, that's my lesson from today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.